Hello everyone, my name is Hannah. I'm 21 years old, a military spouse, and I got married in June 26th of 2022 and we're January 30th of 2023. So I haven't been married that long, but I do live on base. I've lived on base since October and I have had my fair share of deployment, field days, those days when you're completely alone and you're like, oh my God, am I ever gonna get any human interaction? So I created this video with some lofi in the background because you have to have some lofi music. I'm always have something playing in the background for you to enjoy in case you don't want to really see my face, because yeah. So this is more of a video of advice to any military girlfriend, any military wife that's out there. You can just kind of feel free to, put your headphones on and do whatever you need to do at the moment, cleaning, whatever. But I saw a lot of posts in the Facebook groups of military spouses who were like, they're either like newly married or it's the first time that their husband's leaving them and they're like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. How am I gonna handle it? And oh my God, when I tell you, you're in for a real treat because it's not gonna be easy at all. As a military spouse, you're prone to being alone. It's something inevitable. You're inevitable. There's going to be moments when you are not going to see your spouse for many, many days, weeks, or months. And it is just something that you have to live through, whether your spouse is in the military for 4 years, whether they're in there for 15 or 20, it's something that, you're just going to have to learn to cope with one way or another. So personally, I go to church, so I am a believer, and I do very much, believe that no matter how many shifts you take at work, like I used to be the one to be like, oh, give me all the shifts at work. When I was a barista at Starbucks, I would just be working constantly, and that's one way that I see a lot of people cope as well. Now I'm a homemaker, so I'm a housewife. I'm not as busy as I used to be, so I don't use that, and I am living my dream life of it, actually. But when it comes to being alone, I'll most of the time be stuck on base at home and not have a single soul to interact with. So that's how I was like, how are we going to get through those times? So I believe that no matter how much you fill up your life with work, with meetings with people, with just having to play around, no matter what you do to try to cope with being alone, being without your spouse, it's gonna be hard unless you go to church. And God, it's a tricky subject because a lot of people don't really believe in God, but in my channel we will be talking about him, and this is advice for either if you believe in him or not. It doesn't matter. I don't judge anybody and what they decide to do, but personally, I personally wouldn't be able to make it through any deployment, any field day without God present, without spending time with him every day, without learning more about him, and without going to church. Because honestly, you go through so much alone. You try to tough it out. You try to go through, not ask for anybody's help, and then there just comes a point where it's, no matter what you try to do to cope with the loneliness, it drives you insane after a while. You need something that's going to give you strength, and for me, that is God. And after a while, you come to realize in life that that's honestly the only way that you're going to be able to make it. So what I do when it comes to God is I have my devotionals. I love my devotionals. There are so many devotionals for military spouses. I didn't know that they were there. They were on Amazon, so I'll try to link them below. But I do my devotionals every day, and then I spend 15 minutes writing a prayer because I suck at praying, and then I say it because it has to be quiet when you do it though, because that's the only way you're gonna empty your worries and fill yourself with strength. I do that every day, one, because it keeps me busy, and two, because you need something to rely on. You need, support in your life that's never going to fail you, and the only thing that's going to be that is God. Now, the second thing I recommend is keeping busy. You can, for example, I have a cleaning schedule, so I would be cleaning, for example, right now I'm dog sitting, so if you guys hear dogs barking, that's what's going on. Don't worry, they're fed, they're taken care of. But yeah, so I walk my dog because I have a beautiful husky, and I have my cleaning schedule. I have routines. Routines are very important when your spouse is gone, because I realize that if you don't have a routine going on in your life, then it's just kind of gonna, every day is gonna clash together. You don't even know what day of the week it is. Like, you don't know what to do. Laundry piles up. Stuff will crash. So unless you're a super disciplined person, I do recommend some routines. Every morning I dedicate it to, I'm hungry, so I eat in the morning. I make my breakfast, I get my coffee ready, then I do my devotional, spend time learning about God. And usually through there, either I can clean if I need to clean, take care of my dog. Definitely that's some of the stuff that I do on a daily basis that helps me a lot. Another thing that is really helpful is truly making connections, making friends. And I know, like, a lot of people, they say that military spouses are really mean. They're like, oh, they're super cliquey and rude and only want drama. In my experience, I haven't had any of that, and I've had the nicest neighbors I could possibly ask for. They are so cool and, very peaceful where I live. Honestly, you can't be afraid to reach out to make friends. There are a lot of Facebook groups for wherever you're living. Invite somebody over to your house, invite them over, or go to a coffee. Don't be afraid to make friends. Don't be afraid to get connected in areas where you can be social, because honestly, you're gonna need somebody to socialize with. If you, for example, you're living somewhere and your husband and you are stationed somewhere that are very far away from your family, you're gonna need somebody to talk to every once in a while. So don't be afraid to be the first one to reach out. If no one is inviting you, you have to be like, all right, well, I'll invite them myself. 9 times out of 10, people are going to be more willing. Like, at least from I've seen so many people saying, oh my God, I want to make some friends. And they reach out, they're vocal about it. And, I see so many people being very kind and replying. And, don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to make connections, grow relationships, because at the end of the day, you're gonna need them. You're gonna need somebody to support you, and for that, and you support them, vice versa. It's kind of cool to make friends with your neighbors or other military spouses, because you do bond on the fact that your husbands are gone a lot. If there's one thing the military does very successfully, is they will take your husband away from you every time or so. So that's something that I do. I personally love making connections. I love reaching out. I do go to church as much as I can, but that's personally my preference, because that's where I gain my strength to continue going, to not give up, and that's how my marriage doesn't suffer, how I do not suffer during deployment or during times when he's away. Do I miss him? Yes. Does it hurt? Yes. But does it kill me? No, because I do have God to go back on, and that's something that I think is really cool as well. Another thing is, don't be afraid to do something you like. For example, if you like a TV show, go ahead and binge it. Go ahead and watch it. Like, don't be afraid to indulge in what you like in terms of entertainment. If you like certain hobbies, now's the time to go into them. Now's the time to watch that series, to have that house to yourself. Every day, make sure you are properly taking care of yourself. That means really intentionally take care of your skin, take care of your hygiene, take care of your mental health. That's very important. So, read any book you can. It's good to be educated. It's good to get information from people who have already suffered through what you're about to go through. And honestly, advice is very, very helpful. So speaking about advice, I did go on Pinterest, because I find a lot of articles on Pinterest actually that speak about deployments and how to go through them. And this isn't just for deployment, it's also through like times when you're going to be alone without your spouse. So for example, overcoming fear and worry as a spouse. There is going to be times when your spouse, their life is going to be in danger and there's nothing you can do about it. But, you can only pray, you can only trust, and that's the only way it's going to keep you sane. And yeah, so overcoming fear and worry is the question, that you ask yourself, is God really enough? Is God big enough to deal with the fear of death? Big enough to take care of her and her babies? Should the unthinkable happen? That's a quote from an Air Force wife, Ellie Kay. If you have to ask this question, then you do not believe it to be true. Even if you want to, you must be determined to let go and let God have it, which is very true. Going to God again and again, if you haven't really been connected to him. There are so many ways to reconnect with God. There's devotionals. You can find a really cool church nowadays. You know, they're not what they used to be back in the day. There's so many cool places that I've been to, and I absolutely love going. Being able to connect with God, being able to feel okay and not worry for a couple hours of the day, which is really nice. Truly, you know, there is a support system out there for you, and all you have to do is just go out and see it. And then there is also an article that I read that is like 10 tips from seasoned military spouses. All the links for these will be down below as well. And it says deployments, they're inevitable, so don't let your pride take over, meaning you have to ask for help. I know we want to be Miss Strong, we want to be like, oh, we got it all under control, I can handle it, which you can. But just because you ask for help doesn't mean you're any less strong. Just because you're like, oh my God, I'm not good at this, please. Like you want to vent to someone, you need to connect with someone. That's being human. That's not being weak, that's being human. So please don't be afraid to ask for help. 2, you have to lower your expectations of yourself. You know, take breaks. Some people, they're like, my husband's deploying, I'm gonna be Miss Superwoman. And I'm just gonna do everything completely perfectly and not ever rest. No. There will be, since you don't have your support system of your husband with you at the time, that's when you're gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna take my breaks. I'm not gonna be as hard on myself, because I know that it's just, realistically, we're not gonna get everything done as we thought that we would. 3 is be true in your relationship with your loved one. So that means take only the advice that makes sense to you, and and you chart your own path. So whatever you hear, you'll hear a lot of advice as a military spouse. Take only what applies to you and your husband, what feels right in your soul. Don't force yourself to do something you don't want to do or you don't really feel like doing. Unless that is, you know, taking care of your home or doing something necessary that'll help your health. Honestly, cleaning, taking care of your home is something that is really beneficial, not only to your house, but to your health. And seeing your house clean really takes off of pressure as a spouse. When your husband is deployed, you will have a lot more time to do that. We are back because the dogs decided to start screaming bloody murder because of a mailman. Always nice. Anyway, I'm thirsty. Check out my cute cup. Oh, so amazing. Anyway, so yes, okay, where were we? I actually am reading this off my notes that I took down. So if you see I look down a lot, that's what's going on. Okay, perfect. So going on to point number 4, make the first move. Don't be afraid to make friends. Don't be afraid to ask people, hey, we want to hang out. What days are you free? And honestly, you know, consistency is key. You have to be consistent until you reach your goal. If not, you know, it's just not going to get any easier. We all wish in life that everyone would reach out to us and it'd be easy, but it's not very realistic. So to have success, one must work hard as well. Number 5, set up a support group before the deployment. So I don't know too much on this because I already have an amazing support group, thankfully. But in the article, which will be also linked down below, it says, you know, reach out and put systems in place for the things you struggle with most. So maybe an example could be like, you know, oh my gosh, I struggle with cleaning. I know I'm not really good in that. Well, hire a cleaning service, you know. Or join a small group in church, join places, even Facebook groups, honestly. It doesn't have to be physical if you're, you know, if you have social anxiety or you're scared to meet others, which all of us are, but at one point we have to get over it, to be able to make new connections, make new acquaintances, and new friends. So, yes, also set yourself a goal. Let's say, while he's gone, I'm going to do this workout for 30 days, or by the time he's back, I'm going to have this house project done. Very simple. Make sure you set a goal for yourself that you will work on consistently to focus your mind on. And then number 8, create an action plan. So for example, you know, okay, well, I have a goal, this is how I'm going to achieve it. Or for example, me, I created a cleaning schedule, which I will try to religiously follow. Try, keyword try, because we're not perfect. And keep me busy, you know, keep me organized. You want to keep a little bit of organization, build it, create it. Also, find what brings you joy. If you like watching series, go for it. You know, this is your time to really enjoy your you time. This is your time to really go out and work on your hobbies, and without guilt-free, because like I said, your husband will be probably gone and busy. And then you have to create an action plan to keep your sanity intact. Don't forget that. And then do something every day. So every day, you know, commit yourself to a routine, commit yourself to being busy. Some women, you know, if you have work, pick up those extra shifts, that's awesome. Just make sure to create that balance as well. You don't want to be surviving, you want to be thriving through this deployment. Yes, it's not going to be easy because your loved one isn't there, but that doesn't mean you cannot have a life because they are gone either. And you know, really fill out that calendar as much as you can. Try to meet friends, go out with people, really see your family if you have the chance to, because a lot of people don't have the opportunity to see their family. I thankfully do for now, but who knows what happens if we get stationed somewhere out of the country. You know, I probably won't. So at least try to call them. There is a lot of technology nowadays to do that, so spend time with them either online or physically go visit them if you can. That's something that a lot of spouses do as well. It's a lot easier to go see your family, spend time with them, you know, because you never know how much longer you do have left. And 10 for the article is find your tribe. So find and build your group of people that is your support system, that you go to, your friends that you can actually trust, be closer with, you know. You're gonna need support while your husband's gone, and it's not healthy to do it all alone. So, you know, truly there is a lot of support out there. It's just a matter of going out and reaching it, and also inside, you know, realizing, okay, I don't have to put my life on hold just because my husband is gone. That just means that I have to find new ways to enjoy it while we are distanced. Let me get my cute cup again. My brother's girlfriend told me that she does puzzles, and I'm about to start doing puzzles. Puzzles are like, you know, take up a lot of energy, they take up a lot of time. Watch those movies, binge all those series. Also, personally, I am starting to work out. Now, I'm not doing it for looks, I'm doing it for strength. So, you know, if you never work out, I highly recommend it because it gives you endorphins, it boosts your oxytocin, and it makes you feel good. So, which are all literally the same thing that I just named. But I do like a very simple beginner's workout, and you know what, something that you don't want to stress yourself out, you just want to get stronger. You want to do the same thing until it's easier and then move on to something bigger. Don't try to stress yourself out or feel bad because you can't do a lot. Really don't give up on yourself. You have to, you know, truly continue to be like, all right, this is going to be a time when I'm going to learn how to thrive on my own, how to thrive in independence and be okay. You know, obviously try to connect with your spouse as much as you can, but you must remember you are their support system in this time. While they're away from home, they're away from everything, they're in just kind of like this new place, and they're like, oh my god. So you are the support that they have at the moment, which is a very important role. That means you must be getting the support that you need at the moment as well. It may not be from them because, you know, time differences or jobs, stuff like that, and it's okay. That's okay. You know, that doesn't mean their duty is very separate from their love for you. Just because their duty calls them to be away, that doesn't mean that they love you any less. That just means that, you know, they have no choice. It's the military. You gotta go where you gotta go, and unfortunately, you know, you gotta toughen up and stick through it. But that's why we have God, to help us be strong in it. So every day I do my devotionals. I spend my throat, it's, oh, this weather. I do my devotionals. I drink my coffee, I make my breakfast, and, you know, I do something that brings me joy every day. I love watching TV. I love just watching like travel videos on YouTube, and truthfully, I don't know who on earth will see this video, but if you are seeing it, thank you. Hopefully that is some advice that you can take from. Always find a way to keep busy. Truly, you know, find ways to take care of your health. Journal your thoughts. Be okay with being alone. You know, your husband or your boyfriend will come back. You will not be alone forever. Do not count the days, count the weeks, because if you count the days, it's just, oh God, you have to count the weeks. Oh, another thing is, I love Valentine's Day, so my husband won't be back until after. And something that I got an idea from one of my neighbors is, she says, well, my husband's gonna be gone for Christmas. So she literally is like, we're gonna freeze time and I'm going to leave the house decorated for Christmas as if time froze while he was gone. So if he's gone, if your spouse is gonna be gone during an anniversary, during a special date, whatever, or holiday, you can, you know, freeze time in your home and postpone it, celebrate after, which honestly would actually not seem so bad, because, you know, you wouldn't have to pay the same prices, the same crowds that you usually get. Like, it's a lot cooler in that aspect, at least I think. You have more time to prepare, like if it's an anniversary, you have more time to prepare their gift or whatever. So, you know, you have to look at the bright side of things. Not everything's negative when it comes to your spouse leaving. It's not a bad thing. Like, the saying, distance makes your heart grow fonder, is my favorite saying, because it is very true. Like, spending time apart means a sweeter, you know, time together. So embrace it. Embrace the time apart. Do connect with your husband, but don't feel bad if you don't hear from him as often. That doesn't change his love for you. That just means that, you know, it's different. You know, they're working, they're away, they have stuff to do. Find ways to connect, yes. And, you know, I honestly, there's so much online. There's so many resources online for the military spouse and how to connect. This is just my 2 cents on it, how I personally survive it. I get busy, I create routines, and honestly, through routines, it helps the days go by faster. Thankfully, I can see my family, so I go see them. But even in the days like now, where I won't be having interaction with another human soul physically in front of me, that just means I can follow my routines and I can find a way to continue growing, getting stronger mentally, emotionally, and, you know, it's time. This is your you time. This is your you time. Now, if you're a mother, I'm not a mom yet, but I do know that since my husband plans to stay in the military for a lot longer, as much as it'll take him, I will have to be okay with parenting alone most of the time. And honestly, it doesn't scare me. I'm not scared of being alone. It's once you embrace your solitude, once you embrace being able to continue to live without your partner there, and then, you know, switch it off when he's back. Some people have a harder time, some people have an easier time. For me, it's just kind of like a light switch. Yeah, once you are okay with living alone and being alone, it gets so much easier. You just get used to it. It's kind of like, okay, now I can have my me time and, you know, not worry too much about it. Like, I'm a housewife, so having me time is pretty nice. But yeah, so hopefully this advice helped you a little bit if you're new. It does get easier. It does. At every deployment, like our first deployment, I was crying, I was scared, and now I'm like, okay, you know, I'm like, we got this, we can do it. Which is funny because he's gone now than he is longer than his first deployment. But definitely, you know, you have to continue on. You cannot, life does not pause because your husband left. So yeah, if you're new, hopefully this advice pertains to you. If you are a mother, oh my gosh, my heart goes out to you. You know, it's really hard because you have to pick up all the pressure of the family. And honestly, do not be hard on yourself. Do not be hard on the fact that the house and everything isn't put together, because, you know, you don't have that second support that you usually do to help around. So you got this. Just take it one day at a time, one action, one meal at a time, and before you know it, it's gonna be over. Now, yes, one day may feel like 3 days when your husband or boyfriend is gone, but that doesn't mean that it will never end. And that's one thing you never forget, you know, really keeping your heart that distance does make the heart grow fonder. And it's good to have some distance from each other sometimes. Also, you know, if you feel like, oh my God, I'm falling apart, what am I gonna do? Like, I feel so alone. That is why I recommend going to the support system that's already waiting for you, which is God. So yeah, I love devotionals. Oh my God, they're so cool because, you know, if you're like shy about God, they're perfect for helping you learn more about him. Church is really cool. I know some amazing ones that are very modern, very beautiful, very powerful. So yeah, please feel free to reach out to me if you ever have any questions or need a friend. I will be more than happy to help you. Yeah. If you made it this far, oh my God, you're amazing. And hopefully my 2 cents helped a little bit. Thank you.